Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Tomatolito Show. And I got a brief one for you here. This one's going to be quick, I promise. Once I get rambling, I get so excited about the fight game, and sometimes I end up dragging on a little bit too long. I apologize for that, but you could definitely hear the excitement in my voice whenever I'm covering this content. And this is going to be another edition. I wanted to bring another edition to the brief series that I managed to put together, paying homage, paying respect to the numerous organizations that are out there and doing their part, leaving their mark in the landscape of MMA or boxing, a form of boxing, right? So these are organizations that have been doing it for a while. Some of them are newer, some of them are older, but they're leaving their stamp in our lives as fight fans and doing their part. Each one of them has provided a little bit different. They provide their own little their unique touch to the platform and as it relates to the fight game. So this is another one. This one's relating to boxing, and this is a unique one, right? This one we haven't seen yet. Now, we know boxing. We know the sport of boxing. This one's going to be a little bit different because it's a promotional company, and this one is ZUFFA Boxing. ZUFFA Boxing, of course, is the original parent company of the UFC. As we all know, they had that big deal that they ended up selling the UFC a few years back, and Dana White stayed on board. ZUFFA is going to be venturing into boxing. Dana White started talking about this back in 2017. So about 3 years ago, we start hearing from Dana White at press conferences that he was venturing into boxing. And so it caught a lot of headlines. It caught a lot of eyes. And to date, it has not happened. It was set to happen this December, and as a matter of fact, December 11th was when they were supposed to be finally coming together. And for one reason or another, just like in the past, it has not come to fruition yet. And again, this December 11th just fell through in the past few days. So ZUFFA Boxing, an extension of ZUFFA LLC, as we know, the original parent company of the UFC. Dana White says that he's not going to be doing these big, extravagant type of crossover fights, but he's going to focus specifically on doing justice to the sport of boxing and pitting boxers against boxers. It's going to be a legit boxing promotional company, just like we know Bob Arum and Top Rank, and we know Golden Boy, Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions. You got the PBC out there with Al Heyman. So they're going to be legit. Strictly boxing, ZUFFA Boxing. As far as I know, Dana White on several interviews, and I was backtracking some of the interviews that he's done, some of the articles that have been written as to his comments. He's been very public about saying how damaged the sport of boxing is, the boxing model, how damaged it is. He's been quoted for saying that he doesn't know if he could fix it. Or if it's even fixable at all, the way that the boxing model is, because there's no oversight into the sport of boxing. Each promotional company is doing their own thing. They're providing their 2 cents towards the sport of boxing. And you see the promotional companies, how some fighters only fight their own fighters. They're not willing to fight the other promoters' fighters. And so therefore we get that contradicting thing of who's the man to beat at this division or that division. More notably, we see the constant conversation between Errol Spence, if he's ever going to fight Terence Crawford, once a PBC fighter, Terence Crawford, a top ranked fighter, and you see it across a multitude of divisions. Dana White obviously wanting to fix that, and he's doubtful whether he could fix it at all, but he has said and mentioned in numerous interviews that what he has to bring to the sport of boxing and what he can offer the sport of boxing has not ever been seen before. He's like, I will do stuff that you guys have not seen. I will put events together that you guys have not witnessed, and it has nothing to do with staging and performances or crossover fights. He's sticking strictly with boxing, and he's already analyzed and seen several things that he could actually offer to the sport of boxing. So for boxing fans, this is exciting. What he's been able to do with MMA and with the UFC in the last 20 years has been nothing short of amazing. Getting them from a few $1,000,000, getting the organization for a few $1,000,000, and he himself walking away with $400 million, I believe, out of that. So it's insane, the outreach, right? And what the UFC became and how it took the sport of MMA from its original days to what it is now. And it's a global monster. And as I've been covering the other organizations, notable organizations that are out there, they're doing their part. One championship out in Asia. Bellator MMA is out there. Invicta, you see this, and this is all the effect that Dana White has had on the sport and ZUFFA itself. And impressive, right? Impressive. So if he's able to do something and leave his mark in the sport of boxing and change it for the better, then we win as fight fans and as boxing fans. That would be awesome. I can't wait until ZUFFA finally gets underway, and let's see what Dana White can bring to the table for the sport of boxing. So the December 11th debut of ZUFFA Boxing got scrapped, as I was mentioning. The only reasoning and the reasons that I keep coming across, and as far as articles, I've been trying to research, why did this thing get scrapped? Is there something more to it? I haven't been able to discover it other than what was posted, which means that it's COVID-19 related, that due to the pandemic and the growing concerns and ongoing concerns posed by COVID-19, the December 11th card was not going to happen. What did Dana White have in store for us? He was actually in his debut event, the headlining event, the headlining fight for his debut event on December 11th was none other than Claressa Shields against Marie-Eve Dicaire. Now, this was going to be a unifying title fight. So none other than Claressa Shields was going to be the headliner for ZUFFA Boxing's debut event, debut card. That in itself is exciting, because if he was putting that together, imagine what fights he's going to be able to manage to put in the future. So that's awesome. Now, as far as we know, Claressa Shields and Marie-Eve Dicaire have not been rescheduled for a future date. We don't have a rescheduling for ZUFFA Boxing for when they do plan to give it another shot and go live and launch their first event. So we don't have that yet. It hasn't been announced. Hopefully it's early 2021 and we'll have a full 2021 year of ZUFFA Boxing, and he starts leaving his mark in the sport of boxing, and see how that landscape starts playing out between his promotional company, Golden Boy, Top Rank, PBC. Eddie Hearn is out there with, you got Eddie Hearn, the big DAZN contract, see how that's going to play out. UFC Fight Pass, most likely airing the ZUFFA Boxing matches. Or UFC TV. We'll see how he's able to swim in those waters and how he's able to hold his own. Excited. I'm really excited. Just the fact that Claressa Shields is going to be headlining their first event just lets you know the pool and the effect that Dana White has, and how excited fighters are to quickly say okay for him, and the deals that he's able to put together. He's a master at that. He's been doing it for 20 years. He got the UFC from its humble beginnings to what the monster that it is today. And if he has that effect in the sport of boxing, I'm beyond excited to see what boxing could become, and how it could change for the better. Obviously we want it to change for the better. With that said, I'll leave you guys with that. ZUFFA fans, UFC fans, MMA fans, fight fans in general, this is exciting news. For us boxing fans, this is exciting news. And the fact that it was going to happen, it didn't, but it was going to happen, and it was already scheduled. So keep your eyes open, and this is going to happen within the next few months. No doubt, not a doubt in mind that Dana White's going to put this together and put it together masterfully. So I'll leave you guys with that. Thank you guys again for tuning in. To all my supporters out there, listen, I keep seeing those downloads. I keep seeing that these episodes are being heard by you out in France, out in Russia, out in New Zealand. This is awesome, guys. Thank you guys for all your support. I know you're out there, and it's amazing. It's something more than I could have ever imagined that I would have even one person, one ear out there listening to my rambling and my noise out here in the United States. But thank you guys very, very much for all your continued support. And I'll continue to bring you guys more content. If there's anything that you guys want me to cover, any other organization that you guys know of out there that I may not be mentioning here and that you guys want it to catch more notoriety, send it to me. Let me know. Reach out to me. And now I promise you, I will present it in a respectable manner and do justice by you and by the organization. So thank you guys again. Take care of yourselves, and we'll talk soon.